So tonight I am going to be replacing the AC compressor clutch coil and clutch wheel. The air conditioning went out on the 2007 Honda Odyssey. After doing some investigation, that's what it seems most likely to be. I checked the relay, checked the fuse. Both of those are functional. There's plenty of videos out there that can talk about that. So I just want to get into the process of changing out the compressor clutch coil and show you guys what that looks like. To prep, I went ahead and got it up on jacks, took the passenger side wheel off, got the little cover off. For now, I'm going to go ahead and leave the belt on because it'll be easier to get that bolt off. I went and got the tool, the clutch holding tool from AutoZone. It's a $20 rental, but you get it all back if you turn it in. And I'm going to be using that to torque it back on. And then next thing is to really get in here and start pulling out the paneling. Let's get started. Okay, so there's the clutch pulley and clutch, and so we just got to get at that bolt right there. Let's get to it. So this is just a 10mm socket. Got this little ratcheting wrench thing, and we'll see if it is enough to get it off. Oh, it just slips. Just held it with my thumb and it came off easy enough. Okay. Don't lose this. It looks like it didn't matter to leave this on because the clutch itself moves pretty freely. So I'm going to go ahead and take the belt off now so it's easier to get all this stuff. This nut looking thing here, not actually a nut, but it's what you grab onto to compress the tensioner so that the tensioner relieves tension on the belt so you can get it off. And so I'm going to come in from the top and hit this with, this is a 3/4 inch, I'm sure it's some metric number, but the 3/4 works for it, and I've got a pulley tool. Move this out of the way, scoot it out of the way, and then a nice pulley tool. I think this might have been a Harbor Freight, maybe an Amazon purchase, but it's really nice because it's hard to sneak down into this narrow spaces. You really don't have much space in there, so in order to get this belt off, this has been a great help. So, trick. I got it down on this side. I reached under with this hand to locate the bolt, locate the head of that nut thing on the tensioner. It's on the left side of the stick, and closer to me. And you just push forward. And that should leave enough tension to get the belt off. Let's just gonna work that belt off. There we go. All right, cool. So the belt is off. This should just shimmy right off. There's supposed to be a couple of washers in there. These are the little washers. So just be mindful of those, don't lose them. And then this is the hard part, I think, really, is getting the snap ring off. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to orient this thing in a better position. Got a little hammer, screwdriver, flathead, just up against one of these notches. So I've oriented the snap ring like this because my snap ring pliers can't fit in there to get any other orientation. Okay, I was able to manage to
get the snap ring up and over on one edge. So I just stuck the snap ring pliers in, pushed them with two hands, you know, to open it up, and kind of worked one edge off and then slipped it up and over. So now I can kind of work the rest of it off, and that should go pretty easily. I was able to snap ring off, and now we should be able to work this thing off. I'm just rocking it back and forth. So I'm pulling on one side and then pulling on the other, kind of trying to loosen it up and rock it off. It's stuck on there, but I think this will work. Okay, time for the WD-40. That's going to be the most stubborn part of this whole thing, is just getting this off, I think. Okay, so the technique I'm using is just taking this extension, sticking it up on the back side of that pulley, and whacking it with a hammer. Saw somebody else doing it, and seems to be making some progress. There we go. So you'll see inside there's another snap ring that needs to come off so you can get the clutch coil out. So I was able to do the same thing that I did to the other snap ring. I stuck the pliers in and expanded it, and then worked one side out, kind of peeled it out so that it sits outside of the groove. And with that, I can just work the rest of it off and get that coil off. This should just shimmy off, and it does. There's an electrical connector that you've got to disconnect. Alright. Now comes the old. Okay, so I've got the new snap ring. So getting the snap ring back in was a pain in the butt, but what I did is I used these pliers to open it as much as I could, push it flat as I could against the face, and then I took a long screwdriver from the top to press on the back edge to kind of snap it up onto this ridge. And then once I did that, then I was able to just use the screwdriver face to push it down into the groove. That's the trick with that one. It's kind of a pain, but it's doable. Okay, putting this back on now. One thing to note is that these snap rings are directional. You'll notice one side on the inner lip is flat, and then the other has like a chamfer on it, and so you want that chamfer facing outward. So I'm going to open it up, use a screwdriver on the back side to push it into place, up and over. Ah, boom. That actually wasn't bad at all. So the last thing is put the new clutch on, clutch face, and you'll want to make sure that there are those two little washers. This kit comes with 2 washers, so I'm going to just drop them down in there and make sure they don't fall out there, but I'm going to put the screw in there to hopefully prevent the washers from falling down. And you just work it in. Once you get this back on, you need to make sure that the gap is set right. I heard on another video pulling from the Honda manual that it needs to be between 12 thousandths and 23 thousandths. The included
washers were much thinner than the previous ones, and so I went through a series of different options and ended up with the original washers, which are 2 thicker ones, to get a good gap. So it's fitting in here 12, the 12, but the 23 thousandths does not fit. So that's how you know you got a good gap. Okay, so I went ahead and set this up based on the other clutch. I was set to 13 foot-pounds. I got the bolt tightened down, torqued it down to 13 foot-pounds as per the spec. Got the belt back on. Now I just need to button this back up. I tested it and there was cold air blowing, so that was the problem. So success. And I just button this all back up in reverse, and I don't think you need to see that, but that's the process.